Hello champions, very good afternoon. So finally the day has come which we have been waiting since more than a year or maybe more than 2 years. Just remember the countless efforts, be it solving DPPs, solving so many questions, module, class notes, instructions of teachers and what not. But believe you me, every single efforts which you have placed in will be paid off on this particular day which is gonna to happen on 4th of May 2025. This is the day which we have been waiting with so proud and with so confidence. Just remember the day when you have started this journey. I think on that particular day, the day which you have written in your notebook is the final day of your examination, right? By this time, I'm sure you must have consolidated all of your learning and all the prior checklist which you need to take atmosphere during the examination, and certainly the blessings from your teachers and from your beloved parents. I'm also here and very excited to convey my best wishes to each one of you in this last phase of your preparation, which is going to have a full stop on 4th of May. But again, I'm going to tell you couple of important aspects which you need to keep in your mind, maybe just before the exam and more important during the exam. Because so far, whosoever have spoken to you, they might have told you, start with this subject, do this, don't talk to your friend just before the exam, and common things. But I'm here to tell you one of the important aspect which you cannot miss, you cannot afford, that you should have that piece of information, right? So let me give you again a checklist which you are supposed to do. So for example, you have already downloaded all the admit cards and necessary documents are already there with you. It's strongly advisable that you do a pre-visit of your examination center. Maybe that particular center, that particular location, or maybe that particular city is new to you. You cannot afford of taking risk at last minute travel. You cannot do that. So if your examination is happening on 4th of May, make sure on 3rd May you do a pre-visit of your examination center. Just get familiar with the possibilities of reaching to that particular location. What could be the last minute changes in that particular area, right? Because so many students would be traveling to that particular location. So at last minute, there might be certain changes. So if you do a pre-visit to that location, you will be at least familiar that, okay, this is the mode of transport I need to take. This is the route which I need to take. And it will typically take half an hour. So maybe considering so many students are coming on this day, it might take 10 minutes extra. So you can pre-plan your travel accordingly, so, right? So please do this. Second, on the day of examination, make sure you are going to write an examination which is a classical game of time management and accuracy, and you cannot be late on that particular day, isn't it? So make sure you make your presence at least 2 hours in advance. This is a quite long window. So what you are supposed to do in that window, that also I'm going to talk, right? Whatever is the necessary stationery prescribed in your admit card, make sure there is no deviation. No deviation at all. Imagine if you carry something which is not permitted. So you are supposed to be a part of that process which will unnecessarily create that panic situation. Don't do that. Whatever is mentioned on your admit card, that carry this, don't carry this, don't take any risk on this particular day. The 3 hours, 180 minutes which you are going to spend, I want you to live those 3 hours. I want you to consolidate all of your confidence, all the preparedness, the best memory which you had in your journey, and perform in those 3 hours. So you cannot afford taking any such risk on that particular day, right? Water bottle, transparent water bottle, right? When it comes for the food part, so I want you to go with your normal routine, whatever you like having breakfast. Make sure you follow the same routine, rather having something new which you had not earlier, right? So eat light, avoid heavy drinks. Don't discuss topics with friends. I have seen when I visit some examination center, and just before the exam, I have seen a couple of people, they start talking on the subjects, right? It is good. It's a good practice, but it might not be good for you. Maybe as an student, I'm talking on a particular concept which you are not familiar with, so unnecessary you get panic. I might superimpose that this is a very important aspect. And today I'm 100% confident that there are certain questions which may be asked from this topic. And unnecessary you are getting panic. So avoid any subjective discussion before entering into the examination room. Please do that, right? Just be with your friends, your family members, or be with yourself, right? Try to be calm, try to consolidate, because this is directly proportional to the degree of your focus, right? So make sure before the examination you are not so vocal, right? You are not talking much, especially on the subject front, right? So make sure you adhere to this. Now, the most important window start the moment you enter into the examination room. You are being allocated a particular seat, you are settled with everything, and the final tick 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 has started, right? So when you are going to spare those 3 hours, there are few things which I just want you to keep in mind over and over again. What is that? The very first thing, when you will start the question paper, you are turning the page. Sometimes what happens when you see all the questions in one go, you create a perception that in physics there are some lengthy questions. Don't do that. Please don't do that, right? This is the exam which is going to decide what is the degree of your attention. This is the exam which is going to calculate your 2-year syllabus learning in just 3 hours. You cannot define anything at immediate moment. Don't do this, right? Second thing, do not follow anything that somebody told you that you start with zoology, start with botany, start with chemistry, start with physics. I'm not here to tell you any ranking. I'm not here to tell you any process that you follow this. Not at all. What you are supposed to do, just remember the exam which you have written in the last 1 year or 2 year of journey, and that was your best attempt. And that day you were thinking, okay, this similar exam is supposed to happen on 4th of May, and I'm going to perform on this similar note. Remember that particular exam, that particular test which you have written, right? I want you to follow exactly the same strategy which you had followed on that particular day. Do not invite any new process, any new inputs. I'm not here to give you any input. I'm here to tell you what are the things you need to take care of, right? So second thing is, start with the sequence which you believe in, right? This is the classical game of 4 subjects: physics, chemistry, zoology, and botany. And every subject will play a key role in your success, in your selection. Every subject. So you cannot go with any priority, right? It is always advisable and good that you start with the questions which are easy to do. Many people will say like this. And why it is so? What is the logic behind it? Because once you start with your exam with the questions which you are getting answers, it gives immense confidence. It gives a accuracy. It gives you a way to move forward, right? So it is very important that at least in the initial 30 to 45 minutes, you live in that positivity aura, that you are solving question, you are getting answer. And that confidence is something which will push you for the remaining 2 hour 15 minutes of your time. So make sure you start with these areas, you start with the subjects where you are able to make questions. So it is always advisable that you start with some theoretical aspect. It could be a couple of questions from physics, some question from zoology, botany, or maybe chemistry. So balance like this. Read each and every question, whichever you think it will take my time, you circle it, right? It's very, very important. So make sure you go through each and every question, right? As and when you get an answer, make sure either you have a habit of filling 10 questions in one go, 5 questions in one go, or immediately after one question, follow the pattern. Don't try to make a new pattern on this particular day. Don't do this. If you have an habit that as and when I solve question, I fill an OMR, it's very good. Do that. Rather, solving all the questions and filling the OMR in one go. Don't do this. If in case you are following that pattern and one bubbling goes wrong, the entire sequence will be disturbed. It's better to make one mistake rather than making the whole sequence in a disturbing way, right? So these are few things which I want. And the most important thing is, this is an exam where physics, bio, chemistry, all the three subjects are going to contribute. 50% weightage goes to biology, right? Chemistry, then physics. But there are few subjects over there, especially physics, which might act as a magnet. What does it mean? It will withdraw your attention by showing beautiful graphs, beautiful diagrams, and a lengthy question. And when you are reading it, you are writing the necessary steps and you are getting answer as well. So do you think you will switch to next subject? Answer is no. You won't. You won't do that, isn't it? So you will keep solving the questions of this particular subject. And it is good, right? But the unfortunate part is, the moment you are done with this complete section of physics, you have a better accuracy. You have solved most of the question. But against that, what time you have invested has disturbed your further planning. So the remaining three subjects you are going to solve with very disturbing attention. So don't do this. Make a classical game, how much time you are investing versus how many questions you are going to solve. There will be certain stages where you will solve 4 questions in a minute, and there will be certain stages where you will solve 1 question maybe in 3 minutes or 4 minutes. And it's absolutely fine. But at the same time, you need to have a complete focus on the clock, that what time versus how many questions I have solved. Right? It is very, very important. Right? So if 30 minutes are going on 15-minute section, move on immediately. Right? So these are few things. Try to identify which is going to be the magnet of today's exam, and make sure the moment you realize this, you are falling back into this discussion, right? Because every subject, every question will contribute in your success. So I wish you all the very best for this exam. Make sure you live these 3 hours, you live this 180 minutes like a warrior, like a topper, and always keep one thing in mind, that this is the day which we have been waiting for. And after this, we are going to start our new life with new hopes, with new learning. So wishing you all the very best for NEET 2025 on 4th of May. Thank you so much. Stop kar do.